All right, we good.
All right, bet. We got another episode of Draconian Combat with my homie Michael. Two promising fighters on the call with us today. Um, yeah, man, we're gonna have a good show. We're gonna talk MMA. We're gonna talk about the fighters' careers, how they got into fighting. We're gonna give our commentary on the current state of fighting and stuff like that. Trey, we met before. Joe, it's good to meet you. Um, and yeah, man, we just kind of kick it. We're pretty unfiltered on here. We're gonna try and, I mean, we cuss and stuff like that, but I'm gonna try and be better for myself because I say a lot of stupid stuff. But yeah, first, if y'all both want to just introduce yourselves. And then we're eventually going to get into your most previous fights and things like that. But you want to just give a general overview, and then we'll go from there.
You start with Joe first because we got
Yeah.
to hear from Trey a little bit, so we know a little bit about him.
Yeah.
So my name's Joe. I've been training with Tribe for about 2 years, I believe. Yeah, I think 2 years. I first started boxing. I met a guy who kind of taught me boxing. Then from there, I would go to there was a gym in Texarkana, and it's on the line between Arkansas and Texas, a little town called Texarkana. I would go there, like a little sparring. I didn't go a lot, but from what the guy taught me, his name was Lee, I just kind of my skills like on my own. And then it got to the place where I was like, man, I can only go far like by myself. Good friend, he told me about Tribe, and that's when I joined Tribe. And the rest is, man, I've had 5 fights, 1 exhibition, 4 that are on my amateur record. I'm undefeated at the moment, and I hold the belt for RDC at 185.
That's what's up. And we're going to get into it some more in a bit. Trey, do you want us to give us just a brief breakdown again?
Yeah, I'm Trey Frazier, and I fight in welterweight 170 division, and I have 11 fights in total, 6 MMA and 5 kickboxing. So, yeah, currently undefeated, but mindset 0-0. Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
What does that shit mean? Like, can you explain to me real quick?
What?
Like, mindset 0-0. Explain that.
Oh,
to me.
okay. Yeah, like I played high school football, and no matter what like the score was at halftime, we go back in the locker room, and we have like this board, and they put 0-0, like no matter what the score was. So
I got you.
So when we go back out there, like we playing like it's like we gotta get a score on the board, you know. If that makes sense.
No, it does. I get you. I just never really understood it, but now that you put it that way, I understand now.
Joe, do you look at it the same way? As far as I'm fighting, do I have to protect my O, or I'm like starting fresh? Do you look at it that way too?
Yeah, it's not like I'm protecting my O or whatever. It's just like no matter how I did in the past.
Yeah.
This next fight is got to be the one that I go after, I attack and do my best, and I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
I agree with that. I don't think no one wants to lose.
Right.
But my mindset kind of going into it, or like whenever I'm fighting, is just perform. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. Just do what you know, like do what you do, and everything will be all right. You know what I mean? That's kind of my mindset going into it.
Do y'all treat your training camps the same, no matter the fighter, his record, things like that? It's like I treat everybody as equal, even though he's a scrub. Or do you guys sometimes feel you might let off on the gas in training camp, or go a little bit harder knowing it's a championship fight? Is that mentality the same fight to fight, or does it differ if you know you're fighting a bum versus somebody who's legit?
Yeah, so with me, I take everybody serious. I think everybody's dangerous. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether I think I'm better or not, I still take them very serious. You know, I feel like you can't doubt anybody, because everybody has that, puncher's chance. If they catch you, you could be out, you could get rocked, and you can get finished. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
series.
I feel
Yeah, I
what do
agree
think,
with you,
Trey?
Joe.
I had a
the same
question.
thing over here.
Go
I
ahead,
got a
Mike.
question. Either you guys can answer it. As far as like Tribe, how long has that gym been around, and then like, how long has the amateur team for competing been around? You know, compared to that gym.
So, you wanna you gotta join me.
Yeah,
No, you
either
got
or can answer. I'm curious to how long that gym's been there, but also how long they established an amateur team for you guys to go and compete.
So I don't know how long. At first, it was called Iron Temple, or no, Team Fearless, right? And then they recently changed it to Tribe like 2 years ago or a year or so.
Yeah.
I forget how long it has been, but yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been there, in the combination of the years. But I know I've been training there since 2021, and they had a gym in El Dorado and in Monticello, and that closed down in like 2020, and the one in Monticello closed down in 2022, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been there, but if that answers your question, I know it's
No,
been.
it
I know it's
does.
been.
I was curious because you guys have a lot of good fighters coming out of that gym, but I don't think you guys have been competing, as long as maybe like a bigger gym that's maybe around in like the bigger cities. You know what I mean? You guys are in a smaller town, Camden, Arkansas. So I was a little curious of when the whole amateur team scene started at that gym, because you guys have a lot of talent from that gym.
Oh no, that I think I can answer. When I first started in 2021, there was no like fighters, active fighters, right? I
Mhm.
think don't get me wrong, but I remember keep trying to get in a fight, and I can't remember anybody else trying to fight at the moment from back then. So I remember in 2022 of June, I had my first amateur fight, and then after that, it was like people started to come and wanted to fight more, and that's so like since 2022, it seems like it's been like picking up as a like more
Gotcha.
fighters.
Yeah, I know our coach Jeff, he said, like he never wanted the gym to become a fight gym, but it's kind of like we just had so many people who want to fight, so much talent. So it's kind of became kind of like a little fight gym. Like we got good fighters, like to compete, and we do well. So yeah.
How do you contribute Jeff's teaching and his the way he goes about running a gym like Tribe to your success? Because you guys have not been fighting that long. You both have championship belts. You guys both do very well. So what does Jeff mean to you guys in that gym in a small town like Camden, Arkansas?
Jeff, he's very, man, I don't know. He's very knowledgeable, and he's really genuine. And I feel like our culture at that gym, I feel like that's one thing that gives us an edge, because we all want to see great. We're never hating. We're never like criticizing each other, like to be hateful. If there's something we need to work on, of course, like we would share and, help him get better. But Jeff, he really treats us like family, and like we got a good culture at that gym. And like I said, he's just real knowledgeable. He knows a lot. He's been there, he's done it. So he just provides good knowledge, and yeah, that's a good mindset.
Yeah, and to go off that, like, yeah, I trust Coach. I trust him like heavily, and then I depend on him. He done been there for me in different ways that other people haven't. Like more than just a coach. He's been really actually looking out for me, and not just him, everybody else at the gym as well. I feel like the names fits the gym perfectly. Like being called Tribe Martial Arts, because it feels like a tribe. It feels like we all in it together. And it's like home. So
And you guys roll in deep too at the fight, so I believe it.
Got you.
What you say?
I said y'all roll in deep at the fights to support each other, so I believe what you're saying.
Got to.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We gotta show out for the people.
I want to build on that because I wanted to talk about you guys' most recent fights, right? And if y'all can both give us a breakdown of your most recent fight, you know, how it went, if there are any challenging moments in the fight, when you know you were about to get over him, when you knew you were just better than the guy. If you guys want to break that down and give us your psychology, a breakdown of the fight, and then what's going through your mind during different phases. Trey, I know you got I think the submission finish, right? And so, yeah, both of y'all just want to break down, you know, your last fights and how it went.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? Well, since I have mine most recently, I go.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, but so look, my last fight was last weekend, and it was a little messy. It got a little messy, but I feel like my performance was I underperformed, if that makes sense. I didn't do how I wanted to, but it was more on the mindset thing than physically, because in my head I was thinking, like, this past year I've been getting finishes in the first round,
right?
And I didn't want to go out there just looking for a finish, like, oh, I gotta keep on my reputation or whatever. I want to go out there and let it happen naturally. But I was thinking about it too much. In my head, I was like, I don't want to do too much and get tired, because it's gonna be a 5-round fight.
Right.
And I've been finishing in the first, so I don't want to go and like just rush things and I pace myself and get tired. So I was like, let my opponent work, do whatever you got to do in the first round. And that, I guess that brought me down here when I should have been up here. So I got caught in the second round. I got caught in the second round, and he dropped me. Well,
yeah.
He dropped me, and then I recovered quickly, but by the grace of God. But yeah, I finished, and I wanted to kill him. I ain't gonna lie.
That's good. That's good. You have to have that mindset when you're competing. Afterwards it's all love, but you have to have that mindset when you're competing, because he's gonna try to do the same thing to you. If you slip in there and you mess up, he's gonna try to capitalize off that. So you have to have that mindset in there.
I wanted to get y'all opinion on that though, because I ain't never fought. I just watch it. But do y'all think of it as life or death in there? Like, either I'm gonna die, he gonna die.
Yeah.
Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
I like to think of it as like kill or be killed.
Right.
Like life or death. It's like the same thing. So yeah.
I got a question. Do y'all remember on the last time we talked, and I was asking about being rocked?
Yeah.
Or like getting pushed to the extra limit.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, it just feels like you got to have something like just that wakes you up and just drives you or whatever.
Yeah, flip that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt that Saturday.
So
it was
would you say that because you weren't hunting the finish in the first round, it kind of lowered your overall performance?
Yeah, because I was thinking too much of it. Like, I was thinking of not getting the finish, but not making myself tired to where I can't, do perform how I need to perform. So I was just like not doing too much or not doing enough. Thinking not doing too much, not doing enough.
I think one fighter who has that sort of mentality is Khamzat Chimaev, man. He out there to get you in the first round, and then unfortunately his dumbass always gasses out. So he gassed out against Burns. He gassed out against, was it Usman, right? He gassed out. But typically he's pretty good at it. He got Holland out of there real quick, and a bunch of other people. But I guess it's interesting for me to see like what's the fine line between going for the finish versus I need to give him some time to work to exhaust him and then get that finish. And it sounds like it still worked out for you. You got the finish, but it almost cost you in a sense too.
I was just not looking for the finish. Michael Chandler does it too, right?
Yeah, Chandler's one of them people too.
Michael Chandler, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he did the same. But yeah.
Nah, Joe, did you? Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I'm sorry. Y'all mind if I eat on here? I got some green stuff,
man.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
hey, let's chill.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Joe, if you want to give us a breakdown of your most recent fight and everything.
Yeah, man. My most recent was I think was that March 30th?
I think so, yeah.
And it was in El Dorado. I was the main event for amateur. It was kickboxing.
Yeah.
Man, the camp, like, I felt good. I knew I trained hard, so like I'm always nervous, before the fights because it's a fight, of course. But once I'm walking out and I get in the cage and stuff, I'm just at that calm. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready. What I signed up for. This is what I want to do. So, it went all 5 rounds. Stamina wasn't a problem at all. I trained really hard to like get my stamina like good because that's my biggest fear. I never want to gas out, and lose because I'm tired. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when I know I'm skilled. I would hate to be tired and can't finish somebody when I have all these skills. So the fight, it was real calculated. So a lot of people will call it slow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like shots, he had good shots, but overall I got it done. The last round, I almost got the finish. He got a standing 8 count, but overall, like I just feel like a lot of people, my opponent, like shout out to him. I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, it's like an intimidation factor. Like when you look at people's physiques or stature or something.
Right.
A lot of people probably would have looked at my guy and been like, oh, you got it, And a lot of people would tell me like, oh, you got it easy, That's no offense to him, but like that's what I was hearing a lot, It's mainly because of like physical things. And I just don't see it that way. Like I said, I just view everybody as dangerous. You know what I mean? And even with him, he was mainly a boxer, so his hands were like they were decent. But yeah, I just always take him serious. And pretty much it was a good fight. One thing I wish I would have did more, like, because I rewatched it back like a few days ago, actually. I wish I would have worked more like combinations, That's one thing just when I do fight. I might 1 punch or just 2 punch, you know what I mean? I don't work the combinations like I should. So that's what I'm trying to work on. That's like the biggest thing I took from that fight. But yeah, kickboxing is hard to finish. So I want to finish somebody, but it's hard to get that finish.
No, you made a good point about. Go ahead, Michael.
There you go. My bad.
I was gonna say you made a good point about stature, right? Because I think your general person, they look at somebody who's muscular and think they can fight. Right. And then you look at somebody like Anderson Silva. Like looking at him, I would think I could whoop his ass. Right. Like, when you look at Anderson Silva, like, oh, that dude's a bitch.
Hearing him talk.
What's that dude's name? Even Saul O'Malley looked like a bitch to me.
Bro, you can say like he is. A lot of people call him skinny fat. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he'll put them hands on you like.
I think muscles to a certain extent can be a detriment, maybe. Obviously, you got to be strong, but that wiry frame can be kind of deceiving, like the Anderson types. There are probably some other people who are escaping me who just don't look like they could fight, looking at them, but you be in for a whole nother ball game. And then you said you kind of wanted to work on your combinations, right? Right. And so is that something, because I'm guessing you guys are training that in the gym, for the most part, but is it harder to carry over into a fight when, you have a moving person in front of you?
Yeah. I definitely think so. Like, it's funny because you do all the training, but it gets to a point like once you have enough fights, that's why like building a good amateur record and getting a lot of fights is important, because as you're in the fight, you learn to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a lot of people, they black out in the fight. Like I remember like my first or second one, like I didn't completely black out, but there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm conscious in that moment. But the more you fight and just like craft your skills, you get more conscious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to go. Like that's why I'm trying to get a good amateur record, a lot of good fights. That way, when I'm fighting, I'm like, oh snap, I need to throw like better combos. You know what I mean? I need to think more.
What are you guys' thoughts on this is a question to both of you. How many more fights are you guys looking to take, or is there a certain skill level that you're trying to achieve before you look to go pro? Like, is there going to be a point where it's like, you know what, I'm ready to go pro? Or do you guys, obviously you're taking your time as you should, right? But is there like a mental sort of switch that flips on to say, yeah, I can go pro now, I'm ready? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Man, I know for a fact, like, I'm not ready at all. I want to at least get probably like, it might sound crazy, I want to get like at least like 15 more fights.
Got you.
Boxers do it. Why can't MMA fighters do it?
Boxers go like 80 amateur fights or something like that. Crazy.
But they start so young, you know,
Right,
like
Yeah.
they have so many. It's insane.
I don't see a problem with amateur MMA fighters having that many amateur bouts before they go pro. I don't see
Agreed.
a problem. I see a problem with them being rushed in it too fast.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in those 15 to 20 amateur fights, you can experience things that carry over to you as a pro that you can experience as an amateur, as far as like controversy, getting fucked up. You know what I mean? You can experience it at a level where it doesn't matter. So when you make that transition, you know what to expect. So I don't see a problem with having that many fights as an amateur. A lot of them try to speed it up. Like they have like 3 or 5 fights and then bam, pro as a amateur MMA fighter. And I think the sport of MMA has evolved so much now. I don't see a problem with you taking your time as an amateur to build yourself. There's no rush to it. Because once you go pro, you're pro. There's no going back.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
What are your thoughts on that, Trey?
For me, like, I don't really have an idea of me going pro. Like whenever my coach come up to me and be like, he feel like I'm pro, like I'm at pro level, then I just trust what he said and we get it done. But until then, I'm an amateur doing amateur things.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I feel that, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion. I don't want there to be any bashing of like promoters or anything like that. But can it be tricky dealing with fight promoters? And you guys' experience?
So,
Well,
so like I like me personally, like I don't have to deal with him. Like Jeff does, he sets it up. So like I don't have to deal with it. He'll like Jeff will come to me, like he'll talk to Dewan, because we my fights they all been under Dewan for RDC.
Okay.
Talk to Dewan, or Dewan. I'll see Dewan at like one fight, and he's like, "Hey man, the next one is gonna be a banger." Like you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, "Okay."
Right.
So, but I don't talk to him about the fights or trying to get fights. It's mainly coach. It's what he sees fit, you know. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Got you. So I'm guessing he operates the same way with you, Trey, or
yeah. We don't really
fighter, like it takes a lot of the, like I'm not gonna say pressure. It takes a lot of stress off. Like you ain't got to deal with it. You know what I mean?
right?
So like we just train and we get ready. You know, so I like that.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up another point that we kind of talk about on every show when we have guests is fighter pay, right? I think one of our guests said he got paid. Michael, did you say 3 cents or $3?
I think $3 and something cents.
They sent him a check for $3, bro. I said, don't even send me a check if you're going to pay me that much to fight.
Right.
Don't even send me a check, bro. I don't want it. $3.
You got to elaborate on it a little bit. They paid him for I think ticket sales, and I think like they paid for travel expense and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like when everything was completed, it was like $3 and some change.
Dude.
Oh my goodness.
That's real foul. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion. I think amateur fighters should be getting paid at this point, right? So I think that's one thing. But I wanted to get you guys' opinion on, do you think there eventually can be paid for amateur fighters? Not $3, not $100. Michael's saying no.
Ticket sales. They can only get paid for ticket sales and sponsorships.
So what? That might be more $300, $500 maybe? I don't know.
It depends on how much you generate and how much a percentage the promotion gives you off that ticket sale.
Okay.
So if Trey can bring in 30 people, why can't he get paid a portion of those 30 tickets?
That makes sense.
You need your cut. Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on amateur fighter pay or lack thereof? And then it's a 2-question. I want you guys' opinion on amateur pay, and then what you guys think about like the pay discrepancy between like the UFC and boxing, right? So I think like the biggest stars in the UFC, they release the payouts occasionally, right? So you might have a champ like Taporia, who base is like $500,000 to show, and then he might get that back end money for pay-per-views and stuff, versus a Tank Davis who might get paid 10, 20 million, right? And that gap is nasty work. I'm a huge boxing fan, right? But I like MMA a bit more. But they don't get paid the same. So what are y'all thoughts on the amateur fighter pay structure and then the pros?
Trey, you want to start that one?
Well, shoot, I I'm not really against like amateurs not getting paid as fighters because it's just like being in high school football. You don't get paid to be in high school football. It's
Interesting
just
take.
the
Got you.
leagues before you get to the next point, the next step, and then you can get paid. Or college football, but yeah, like I agree with you saying. You said amateurs can get paid like off ticket sales. Like if you bringing in a certain amount of people, then you
Right.
should be able to get like a percentage or get some at least off of that because you bringing eyes to the promotion. So
Yep.
like
Right.
that's
And what
but
they can do too, and
is
I
that what?
thought they were doing it for a minute, but what they can do too, a bonus for knockout of the night, submission of the night, fight of the night,
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
shoot, knockout of the
$250 or
night,
something, bro.
$200 for like a knockout of the night, or
Sure, a
maybe
gift
not even
card or
200,
something, you know?
A
$100.
gift
Like
card,
something,
yeah.
yeah, something. Texas Roadhouse, something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought they was doing that same thing on the card on Joe you fought in.
they I know he said it. I didn't get. I didn't have any other. I didn't meet the whatever, but I don't know if anybody. I think they announced it on Facebook. Actually, I think Jaden like might have got fight of the night or finish or something knockout.
What did he get though? What did he get though?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
heard it was
He
like
get something?
$50.
50?
Gift cards are kind of ghetto though, Michael. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's funny.
You got
Though. That's kinda
150?
ghetto.
Nah,
You said what,
$50.
Harrison?
I said gift cards are kind of ghetto, bro.
Then
That's ghetto as
give
hell.
him
He said
something.
gift card. It's something, yeah, like it's something.
Yeah, I feel it though.
Get a
Yeah,
CD player.
it's nasty work. And then I don't think I let you finish your response though. So you said you're not opposed to not getting paid, right?
Yeah.
You would take a check though. I know you would, but you're not tripping because
Yeah.
Everybody would.
everybody will take a check. But you're kind of looking at it as it's kind of like the high school. So you ain't get paid to play high school football. They're halfway paying college athletes now, but
Yeah.
those it's still janky the way they got it set up with the NIL or something like that, whatever. But so you're not tripping though about fighter pay right now, I guess.
No, I'm not tripping over it. At least as long as they can pay like travel, like well, you know what? They don't pay for like gas, but like, they pay for like hotels and stuff.
Right.
They
Yeah.
take care of that. But if they pay for food, if you need some food or some gas to get to the venue or whatever,
Right.
like that would be dope if they pay for that. That would be like do other things and pay you in a different type of way, you know.
Right.
So do
Not
you
like-
think like what you're saying right now, Trey? For example, maybe they don't do that for somebody who isn't a big who doesn't carry a lot of weight in the promotion. Let's say someone like you or Joe or anybody that carries a belt in the promotion. Do you think that's fair for them to do that at least? If they need you to fight in, I don't know, out of state, to at least pay travel expense, a place for you to live,
Yeah.
food to eat for the time being there. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
I do. If you're a champion
Yeah.
for that promotion, why not?
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It's one.
That's the bare minimum.
It's one thing I've never like thought about. Like I've never even like thought about like getting paid amateurly. But I mean, like you said, like if there was a check, like I'd snatch it up in a heartbeat.
Right.
But yeah, I think like ticket sales and like sponsorships, like that'd be fire. You know what I mean? But yeah,
You
it's
can
not.
still get like as an amateur, you can still get sponsorships, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You most definitely can.
Joe, what we doing, bro? What are sponsorships at?
Oh
Hey,
no.
bro,
I was about to ask
I
y'all.
ain't never had no sponsorship.
Yeah, I was going to ask y'all if y'all had sponsorships and how that actually works.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't even tried. Like you just ask, right? Be like, if you want to sponsor me,
Is that what you do? Is that how it's supposed to work?
right? I think.
I think that's how it works. Hey, don't they?
Sometimes.
Michael, would you pay them to say sponsor me, or is it vice versa? They pay you, right? The fighter.
They pay you, but you give them a criteria of like I know my homie Sean has a thing like where it's like bronze, silver, gold, and then they can pay like bronze is maybe like $100, silver is $2, gold maybe $300, and then based off those different ones, there's different perks that come with being a sponsor. Maybe the first one that's the cheapest, you get a shout out before the fight and after the fight, and that's it. The one in the middle, maybe you get a shout out plus your logo really big on the fight shorts. You know what I mean? It really just depends on the person. But I mean, there's certain criteria when it comes to sponsorships of going about it. Like, but sometimes they just give you money. It really just depends on who you communicate with.
Yeah.
Don't you gotta have like a huge following or like a lot of followers
So
or
sponsorship.
yeah?
That's probably why I never got one.
I know I never got one.
Like I'm gonna sponsor this dude for it, and then I go out there and whip somebody's ass. So
I think you could get one though.
I was supposed to have one for my last fight, but they didn't pull it out.
Michael, didn't you say Matt Carrillo is supposed to be sponsoring this show?
No, he wants to. He wants to be a part of it as far as like you know, I told you about him sending bottles of Howler Head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he wants to. I mean, he still likes all my posts and stuff, but I think now it's about being consistent and backing up. What we've already done. No, because if he puts his name behind this, that's like Dana White and all that shit. So we really got to be consistent with this shit.
I think the UFC. I'm not sure if Reebok is still sponsoring them because I be watching the fights and don't even pay attention. But are they still with Reebok? Because I'm tired of seeing the same dumbass shorts. I think so. They just started changing that stuff. Yeah, and then we wanted your thoughts on the both of you guys' thoughts on the UFC and that versus boxing. And do you think it's fair? And how the MMAs and the pros are getting paid? Because I was watching Bare Knuckle FC last night, and I know they're not as big as the UFC, but me and Michael, we were looking at the fighter pay maybe a couple weeks back, and I don't want to say that word. My bad. I was gonna say something crazy. I saw a girl
get us banned on Facebook.
Yeah, I was gonna call it crazy word, man. I saw the girl. She got paid $500 for Bare Knuckle FC. She got paid $500 to get her ass whooped, bro. I said, that's not even that much better than a damn amateur, bro. And I wouldn't have even shown up.
Working 9 to 5.
Yeah, just working 9 to 5. And a lot of these same money, dude. You know how many of these pro fighters do 9 to 5s?
A lot of them do.
In the UFC.
Yeah, there was one dude that was doing Uber.
Who was?
I think he was saying doing Uber a week before his fight.
Who was?
I can't remember who it was. A fighter. He was fighting on like a main card, and he admitted like at the post-fight press conference after he won that he was doing Uber the week before.
That's nasty work, bro. And you know that's why I have my beef with Dana White. You know me and Dana's history, Michael. Not that he knows who the hell I am, but I got beef with him, man.
That's why we ain't getting this sponsorship.
I don't like that. But what are y'all thoughts on that?
I like Dana.
To branch off on the little like the shorts and everything, like I miss like how they had their own shorts with their like own sponsors. I really felt like it, like a lot of people say, brings a lot of the personality of the fighter into the cage, you know what I mean? Like I always thought that stuff was cool, you know. I hate when everything's kind of uniform. Like they real lenient giving people like their custom shorts, but I mean it's not really the same, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand and it is cool. Like I liked a lot of them, like Max Holloway, freaking Stonehead face.
Pereira?
Yeah.
Oh, Chima. Whatever you call that.
Chama.
Yeah, Chama.
But as far as the pay goes, man, it's actually insane. Like, if you're a big name boxer, you're getting like millions. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And then if you're a big name UFC fighter, you know, you get like 500,000, and then you might get the bonuses of like fight of the night or whatever. Right. But you'll probably walk away with maybe $500,000, maybe $2 million. But maybe not even that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just so crazy because like the UFC makes so much money.
Right.
They could like give the fighters like millions if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like they really could. I know it hasn't been around as long as boxing. I know there's a lot more money in boxing.
Yeah.
But I think the UFC fighters could get paid more, most definitely.
No, agreed. I think Dana White's just too greedy.
You think it's him being greedy, or do you think the sport hasn't grown that much? Because when you look at the NBA, the NFL, because we know that the UFC is worth like maybe like $7 billion, right? how much is the NBA worth? How much is the NFL worth?
Much more.
Probably much more. And you figure MMA's been around since the 90s, at least the UFC.
Yeah.
But MMA is profitable though. It's super profitable. You have like the WNBA, and I think I read something. They lost 20 million. They lose money, but they're being funded by the NBA, I think. And so you have like the Caitlin Clarks of the world, all these new WNBA stars. I was just watching the game earlier. But they got to step up that pay, man. What do you think about that trade for the UFC pay?
Trey's going ham.
Like as
Yeah.
But no, I feel like as as MMA like grows, I feel like it's like growing rapidly. Like it's getting picked up by so many people, and like as that like keep happening, fighters gonna get started to get paid more. But I think Dana White is stingy. Like I do think he like a greedy little, yeah. He's holding money in his pocket and giving the fighters little change and just going out clubbing and stuff. But wait, hold on, I take that back, Dana White. If you're watching this, I was just playing.
We just talking.
You're the best in the world.
I think Dana on here.
You said what?
I think we need to get Dana on here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we gotta get him. He called me the other day, but I forgot to return his call. You feel me? I forgot. I'll be busy, I'll be back.
Man, if Dana White calls
definitely
you lose your job tomorrow.
Fighters and like boxers, they get paid like crazy money. I'll be thinking like I should go to boxing. I feel like I do good.
The thing with
I think you got a good thing where you're at, man. I think the sport, like I think when you first start off, yes, you don't get paid enough compared to a boxer that first starts off, whatever. But in the long run, the people on the top in the UFC are making good money.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you really have to just it's like you have to sacrifice a little bit, and I think it gets better from here. Like 10 years from now, I think the average fighter is going to be being paid more money. Maybe not as much as a boxer, but I think the average pay for someone starting off will go up.
Yeah,
I think the same thing. And like if I ever become, like super famous in the UFC or whatever, like making it to the UFC, I don't plan on having like the UFC being my only line of currency, I guess.
Right.
I would want to like do some acting, commercials, start a business, and have other ways of income, sources of income, and bring in money that way.
No, that's what O'Malley did before O'Malley was even famous, bro.
Didn't he sell weed gummies? What does he do?
Who?
O'Malley?
Huh?
Bro, he has weed, he has clothing, he has a podcast, but all this stuff was established before he was even champion. So now it's just icing on the cake.
There's
like
the
he going into
Samoan
the UFC,
fighter.
He wanted to do all these other things apart from fighting.
Yeah, weed. I think Ty Tuivasa sells weed.
I think it's like CBD or hemp or something. You said Ty Tuivasa.
Yeah, he has a weed line now, man. I'm not.
I'm thinking like he outside like his house, like selling weed at his house.
Oh no, he's not trapping like that. Nah.
He's gotta do. He's gotta do.
That's crazy.
You're not making that much. You're not making enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a unknown fighter in the UFC right now. Like they still got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
No different than the dude that was doing Uber before his fights. You got to sell before your fight.
You're actually right though. If you think about it, because this is regular people. This just happens to be fighters
before they blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the not necessarily the superstars, right? Like, but you have like the Kevin Hollands of the world who I think get paid pretty well when they fight. Bobby Green, they might go home 150, 200,000. They got a little bit more star power. They're not champions, but we like to watch them fight. So I don't even know if you have to get to the top of the UFC ladder to really make good money. And then I'm curious about, did you guys see Joe, I know you didn't see the main event last night, but maybe you saw the highlights. Robert Whittaker knocked him out real quick, though. It was like, It was so damn fast. That was the fight. What do y'all think about the middleweight title picture right now, right? The UFC, we got Izzy fighting DDP in the race war. So that's right.
The real
Yeah, the real African.
Yeah, African.
So that build-up should be good. And then we don't really know what's going on with Kamzat, bro. They said he got food poisoning. They said he got sick. He doesn't know if he wants to stay at 170, go 185. We don't know. So what do y'all think about the middleweight picture? Who wins that fight? Are you looking up to the build-up for the fight? I think Izzy's going to be talking that good trash. He's a bit corny, though. He doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of corny. I don't know who's the best trash talker in MMA right now. Who is? Do we have any good trash talkers left?
Used to be Rampage.
Dude, that's so long ago though. But who else got that good?
Tell Sonnen.
Sonnen was kind of funny. Sonnen was funny. I don't know, man. I don't know if we have any more good shit talk.
Sean Strickland.
He's
He's good, but he's more just like being himself.
yeah.
Like if you're talking about like an actual character, like where they just flip the switch and they're being a character. Like,
Kobe tried to be a character.
Kobe would be one, but Kobe like
yeah.
then he
He
loses.
can be funny though. Kobe can be funny. But I don't know if he's a real good trash talker.
Nah, I don't
do y'all
think so either.
do y'all believe in do y'all ever get into any beef with the fighters you're going up against leading up to the fight? Michael, I know we had a guest who had beef with the Samurai.
No, Samurai had beef with him.
Samurai had beef with him. Do y'all ever have beef with these guys leading up to fights? Or you're not even tripping about them?
No. Only close is like just about not all the guys I fought, but like about
I can hear you, man.
185, like I'm the king, I'm coming for the neck. They post up like that, and I'm just, all right, bro, we amateurs. If you feel that way, cool.
So you be seeing what they're posting online, building up. You don't even respond to it. You just show up for the fight.
I don't even think it's that deep, bro. It's so funny. In the archive, I made a couple memes out of it. Like I got some memes in my like camera roll that I made, like stuff they posted. Now I just share them in the tribe group chat with the boys. But yeah, a little troll them a little.
Good way to go about that.
Yeah,
I can respect that.
Yeah. I don't really see too much. I ain't never had beef with anybody, like any of my opponents. Let me see. Daniel Cruz, except for the one time he called me out.
Like a friendly, competitive beef.
Yeah. No, it was more definitely friendly. Me and him was cool. We got exchanged numbers and we text each other on IG. It's been a minute since I talked to him, but yeah, except for like when he called me out right there, like rivalry between him and me. I don't have beef with anybody else. I never had beef with anybody. And like at weigh-ins, it's always funny. It's like I be having the most goofiest weigh-ins in the face-off. It'd be like I can't even take myself serious, so I don't really imagine myself having beef with an opponent.
I was gonna ask y'all about face-offs. Me and Michael are body language experts, so sometimes you could have a face-off and know, oh, this dude, you're still taking him seriously, but you're like, something's a bit off made in this face-off. I wanted to get y'all's take on that. Is there sometimes you can see the fear during the face-off, or a dude's really coming, or what do you guys think about that?
Man, it's funny to say that. I remember for one fight, I was looking at the dude in his eyes, and it was like I was looking through him. I was like, he's already defeated. When we fought, it was a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like the fight was like closer than I even expected. I was like, yeah, the face off really don't mean that.
Yeah, man, you got all these armchair psychologists who like get on YouTube, look at a face off, and say, "Oh, this guy's gonna win. This guy's gonna win." I think John Jones was infamous. He don't really look people in their eyes during face offs.
He looks in the sky.
He looks in the sky or looks down, and then people think he's like, "Dude, he's John Jones." He don't. That's how he moves, man.
To be honest, that would make me more nervous than somebody looking at me, like someone that's not even like acknowledging me. I'd be like,
"You got human."
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Like,
would you treat it as a sign of disrespect if he's not looking at you, or just like, hold on, what's up with him?
I mean, me personally, I wouldn't think it was disrespect.
Yeah,
I would really think he's just mentally trying to throw me off. Honestly, like I think mentally he's trying to like get a little edge. But it would definitely be kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that, Trey?
So like with face off, I don't feel like it really matters, honestly. Like sometimes, like when I have a face off, I look at my opponent and I'll be like, "Nah, he lost." I'm like, "Yeah, he lost already. He already lost."
Yeah.
And then, but like in reality, it's like it doesn't really matter because even if you think that he lost, it doesn't matter what you think or what he thinks. Like what happens in that cage that night, the next night that's coming up, it doesn't matter like what you think. It's going whatever happens is gonna happen. Whoever wins, they're gonna win. Like the results are gonna be the results.
Mhm.
But yeah, like, I don't look into face off like all that serious because
Yeah.
you know looks can just be looks.
Right.
Body mannerisms, whatever. Like it doesn't really matter.
I think it's super corny. When, like get like right here.
Oh yeah,
I just
man.
think
There's no way, bro. Like, man, come on.
like
Like,
There's no way I'm letting somebody do that to me. They're not touching my nose. At that point, I'm gonna slap you and the fight might be called off. Like, I'm not letting you get that close to me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't get how people do that.
I can't let you get close.
Yeah.
like I'll be like daydreaming
like,
about something like that happening, and I just want to be like whisper in their ear, be like, "Your breath stink," or something like that. Like your breath stink, or hand him a piece of gum, or give him some deodorant, and be like, "You musty."
Bro,
But, like,
is especially for amateurs who don't even like have anything against each other. You know, they just try to make it bigger than what it is. Like if you're
right.
getting that, bro, you're a cornball. Sit down. Like a lot of the pro fights, like I can understand like Khabib and Connor's build up, like how disrespectful Connor was, like
Super disrespectful
each other. You know what I mean? Like,
but amateurs, like I don't know you, bro. Like what you doing? Like I don't know you.
Right.
Hey, but some people, I feel like some people, for them, that might be their
mental edge.
That might be their game plan to throw somebody else up. So just like John Jones, may just look in the air. I think for some people, for them, it works for them to throw other people off. But me personally, I'm not rolling with that. Like, I'm not letting you get that close to me.
Can't let you get close.
Yeah, you need to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Michael Chill, not Michael, but Chill on Sunday him. Can't let you get close.
Yeah. With the Vanderlei.
Come on now.
Yeah, I low-key sidetracked myself because I meant to get y'all predictions for the Izzy DDP fight, right?
Oh yeah.
And the way I'm looking at it is DDP hands are ass, bro. I don't know how he beat Strickland.
He didn't beat Strickland.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. You could argue that decision, and I know DDP has wrestling, but I think Izzy's takedown defense is good enough. So I see Izzy maybe getting the finish or outpointing him. But how are y'all looking at that fight? What are y'all predictions?
Man, dude, I know a lot of people, like now at least, like a lot of people don't like Izzy, like everybody calls him corny, which he is corny, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I think if Izzy performs like how we know Izzy can perform, he wins that fight. Like there's no question. You know what I mean? Like he'll outstrike him. His takedown defense is decent. But yeah, I got Izzy on that fight. He could get caught, but if he performs like we know he can perform, I got Izzy.
I don't think he gets caught. Yeah. I think he fights a smart fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw down with Pereira, like, and in the Strickland fight, I think it threw him off because that dude just kept coming forward and didn't stop striking. Yeah. But I think the long break from that fight will benefit Izzy. Mm-hmm. And I don't see Izzy, unless he gets too emotional with the whole DDP bout, I don't see him losing this fight. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope I'm right because I can't see Izzy take an L like that again, especially against this dude. But I'm hoping that he goes out there and performs, and then we get that. I mean, it would have to be Strickland for the rematch at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Izzy got the fight, and I wanted to say something about that Strickland fight with him. Like how, I think he the fight with Strickland, the reason he lost because he was thrown off, and Strickland threw him off his game. but I think it's important, like as a fighter, for you to be able to adapt, and no matter what it is your opponent is doing, like you should be able to adapt. That's how I want to be, at least for myself. Like I can just adapt to anything. Like Bruce Lee said, "Be water." The water. You put water in the cup, it becomes the cup. So whatever like is going on, like be able to adapt and prosper through. I guess I just wanted to say that.
No, good point. And we're gonna touch on that Yuri Pereira fight in a second, right? Because that's this weekend actually, and I'm looking at the card right now. It looks pretty solid. But I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this whole Chandler McGregor situation. We seen
McGregor broke his toe.
Yeah, man. Whatever.
His pinky toe.
Whatever.
He broke his pinky toe. That's why he's out. Give him his respect.
You know what Chael Sonnen said? Chael Sonnen said he's at the cocaine and drug rehab offices. That's what Chael Sonnen said, and I believe it because McGregor is a alcoholic. I have nothing against alcohol, but what do y'all think about that saga? What do you think about Michael Chandler's dumbass waiting 2 years? He's still saying I'm gonna wait for him still. Just go retire and be a family man, dude. In my opinion, what do y'all think about the whole situation?
Conor and
Chandler, yeah.
Man, like I really wanted that fight to happen. And even if it does happen, like I would still watch it and be kind of excited, but like I don't know, I just feel like Conor's BSing, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Like I really want to see Conor back, because what he's done for the sport, like
yeah.
He's done so much for the sport, but like the way it's looking, bro, I don't know if he's really gonna,
He does.
Yeah, because I would like to see the fight. Like I would like to have him back in the sport and like fight some of the best. You know what I mean? Like rise up the ranks. But I'm not even like pressed about it too much, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Well, I feel like McGregor is just. I was a fan of McGregor, but
I was
not right now. I'm not. I would love to see that fight, but it seems like he done got all this money and just kind of went downhill and didn't know what to do with it. And it all happens like it happened real fast for him. I know it. And then somebody like that, you can't really like prepare for it. So I feel like he just got a whole bunch of money, didn't know what to do with it, and just started making the worst decisions, and now he's stuck in a place where he can't escape, and now he can't fight. I think he's done fighting. Honestly, I don't see him fighting again.
And the drug,
I don't think he's done. I think he's gonna cherry pick some big name fights, and I think that's why he's trying to get past this Michael Chandler fight. Because I told Harrison, as soon as Chandler says I'm moving on and books a fight, bam, McGregor versus Nate trilogies. Some bullshit like. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's waiting for somebody that may be actually competitive. Yeah. And then, bam, once he moves on, all right, now we can start milking money before I actually retire. Because he has a couple of exciting fights he can do in the UFC that are less competitive than a Chandler fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's kind of like with Mayweather making, like, money fights? You think that's what you're looking at there?
After Mayweather was fighting real people. Maybe his last fight was whatever, but after retirement, then Mayweather was like just fighting for money.
I was gonna say I'm glad you brought money though, and you said because I think Dana White has said he felt the money changed McGregor, and he said he was comparing him, I think, to Mayweather, who didn't really let the money change him, who still came out and fought at the top level. And my question to you guys is, I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking y'all. How do you avoid letting the money change you when you reach that next level in status as a fighter?
Discipline,
right? I feel like your circle, like the people you surround yourself with too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's really important. Man, and some people like, I don't know. I just feel like it's easy. I know it's like one of them things like it's easier said than done,
right.
When you at that level. So like I really can't even say nothing. Of course I could be like, man, if I got that money, I wouldn't be like that. But that's not true. Change. It would be a lot different. And like some people handle it better than most, but I think like one thing that you can do is like surround yourself with like good people. You know what I mean? like people who want the best for you. And a lot of times that is hard to tell because, you know, or evil, they got intentions. But that's the question, to be honest with you. Makes you.
Go ahead, Trey.
If it's like for myself, the whole reason like I would want money for myself, like, is so I can like take care of my family because we don't had like a crazy life. So like my whole purpose of getting money and obtaining a whole lot of money is just so I can help them financially and make sure that they able to stand up straight in life. And so like when I do that, if I get money like that, I wouldn't be spending it on myself most of the time. It'd be going towards them, and then on top of that, I always like imagine myself like giving to charity or doing something like giving back to my community, especially the one I grew up in. So it would be like what you do with your money, like, is very important, I think. But I'm not at that level of success right now, so I can't really say. So like once it happens, it might be a whole nother world, you know. I might be like, shoot.
No, I was gonna ask you guys right now because you guys are both on the ascent, both undefeated. Have you noticed since you were 0-0 versus where you guys are now? Do you see, people in your old life trying to creep back in, family reaching out? Have you guys noticed things like that? People trying to creep back into your circle since you guys have been on the rise?
Man, I know, like for me, not really. The only thing, people in high school that I didn't really talk to, they'll like shout out Facebook or something, which I don't mind at all. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I have nothing against these people, but we were never close knit like that. But I know they want to see someone from their hometown do great, and I respect that completely. But as far as like trying to like.
No. Oh, okay.
Somebody got mentioned.
What did he say? I think it cut off on my end.
What? You didn't hear any of it?
No, we heard the end.
I didn't hear like the last 4 or 5 words.
Oh, I don't even know what I said.
Oh shit. You said okay. So you said one thing you noticed is about like when you started competing, that you noticed that people that you went to high school with start to like comment and tag you, and then you really didn't think much about it because you thought they were pretty much happy to see somebody from their hometown do well. Yeah. And then after that, I kind of like cut off on my end because my internet's trash where I live.
No, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear.
Was that pretty much the basis of what you said though?
That's pretty much it. Like, but like as far as like people trying to, because to be honest, I haven't had nobody just really like walk out my life like that. So like as far as like, because I'm still pretty young. I'm pretty sure like there'll be something crazy, but like I haven't had anybody that like I was super close to just walk out. So as far as somebody just like trying to re-enter and come back like, hey man, like how's it going? I haven't had that.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me neither. Like, not that I know, like I can think of right now, but the most of the stuff I had was like people like coming up to me being like, "Can you train me?" and stuff like that. Like people be like, "Can you train me?" or like ask me for advice and stuff. That's like what I see commonly with me. It was like, but like I'm like, I can't really. What you want me to do? Like they be asking for me to train them, like show them moves and stuff. I'm like, bro, just come to the gym, bro. Like,
yeah, right.
All right, what you? Yeah, that's really it.
I think I asked Trey last time how he got started, and I like to ask every fighter that I bring on this platform how they got started in the sport. I think it's important because everybody has their own reasons to fight. So I wanted to ask Joe, like, what got you started in the sport, and what grabbed your interest to now you're competing and taking it serious?
Man, to be honest, so I remember I got my first for Christmas one year. My dad got me like a punching bag, and like I didn't know much about anything. I knew I really liked Muhammad Ali, and I really liked Mike Tyson. Like I just I would watch their like highlights and stuff, and just their demeanor and how they moved and their like mentality. I watch a lot of videos about that, and I just started. That's when I picked up boxing. Like just doing little stuff. Met Lee, he trained me. I would go spar a little bit, and I was just like mainly self-taught. But as far as fighting and like competing and wanting to do it, um, so David, the guy who like got
The
me,
Asian guy?
yeah, when it,
Oh yeah, okay. I know who he is.
yeah, he was just like he was like, man, you should just come try it, like just come train. And I was like, you know what, like it can't hurt anything. So I went and I would just hear stories about like all the guys who competed and stuff, and I was like, man, that sounds like so cool. And I remember I would hear about Trey because I hadn't met Trey at that time because he was working like out of town when I joined the gym. So I would just hear stories like, man, Trey's so good, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. And I don't know, like I really thought it'd be cool to fight. Like I never had any ill intention. I didn't have a bad upbringing where I just wanted to hurt people. I'm not in it for that. I really like the science behind it. You know what I mean? Like the mechanics and how the brain works. You know, I really like that side of fighting, and that's really what kind of got me into it. You know, just hearing like different stories, looking at like old UFC fights, like because I didn't start getting into the UFC until I joined the gym. You know, like 2 years ago. I didn't know much about it. I knew like the big names, but I didn't really. I called MMA. I would call that UFC.
Yep.
But that's where my mindset. Like, I didn't know much about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like the science. The science really drew me into it. That's what really made me want to fight. I don't know. Weird.
I respect that, bro. Because here's my thing: is like everyone has their own reasons to fight. You don't have to. You could maybe a reason that drives you is you're homeless. Maybe a reason you bad upbringing. Maybe you had a good upbringing and you just want to get involved in the sport.
Yeah.
Everybody has their different reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when that cage door closes, you have to perform. And no matter what the reason is, some people have good ones. Some people have terrible lives. It doesn't matter. Once that bell rings and that cage closes, you have to fight. And I appreciate, hearing different stories of why people got started. Because everybody's welcome to the sport. You don't have to be have the worst upbringing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody's welcome to the sport. All you have to do is commit and perform, and that's what makes you a great fighter.
And man, it's so funny because like I've literally had people, like I've heard people say like a lot of stuff like I don't do doesn't match, or even like I've heard a lot of people when they find out like Trey's a fighter, like they meet Trey for the first time, they're like, man, Trey, he's just so like he's funny, like outgoing. Look how he's looking. But like when we're like, yeah, man, he's a fighter, he's undefeated, like he be knocking niggas out, and they're like, what? They're like, what? And then they hear like, I'm going to school for phlebotomy, like drawing blood, and I'm an amateur fighter. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's weird. So I think I really like that, like the different backgrounds and why people do fight. It's cool. It's really cool. Like, because some people, it's just the intention. Like, I think it's really cool, man. I really love this sport.
Yeah, I agree too, man.
What advice would y'all give any upcoming amateur fighters? Just as it concerns your training philosophy, weight cutting, just anything you want to shoot off. What advice would you give somebody who's 0-0, about to take their first fight? You can even, talk about matchmaking. Like, should I be fighting an undefeated fighter if I'm
0-0?
No, 0-0. Yeah, if somebody just starting, what advice would y'all give them?
Spar, a whole lot of sparring.
Yeah.
Before you get in there and experience some real pain.
Take your time. And taking the person serious that you're fighting.
Yeah.
And starting like early, like don't try to start your like camp 1 month out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like be training, like be ready at all times. You know what I mean? Like never take that victory lap, even when you win. Like stay ready. You know what I mean? Like take everybody serious. Look at them all as a threat. And take your time, like really take your time and enjoy it. Like enjoy your amateur career, because like you said, when you go pro, there's no going back. You know what I mean?
Right.
No going back.
I agree with that. And I would say like I'd be saying some stuff that probably wouldn't make sense to other people, but I like to say like know who you are. Like like internally, like like
Yeah.
understand who you are and like what you want to do. If that makes sense to anybody, I hope it does.
It
But
does.
that's how I view myself. Like I know exactly what I want, and this is what I want. And I know with that, I know you got to put the work in, you got to put the time in, and you got to be patient too.
Yeah.
So like everything that comes with it, you got to be willing to do. You just can't coast through it and then like saying you want to do it and go out there and get your butt whooped and then expecting to win, but you haven't been doing anything to put the work in. Like
and that's like especially if you're doing like MMA, like Trey was saying, like you need to do everything. Like when you're training, you need to wrestle, you need to work on striking. You know what I mean? Like don't like mainly just for MMA. Like don't work on striking. Just like and be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep the fight standing up. So you just work striking and combos the whole camp, like
and then get taken down.
That's so exactly like it's so stupid. And a lot of people do that as amateurs. You know, they're like, oh, I'm gonna keep it on the feet. Then they get taken down and they lose or something. You know what I mean? So be ready for everything. That's mainly just for MMA specifically because kickboxing is striking. But
hey, do you plan on making that transition? Or did you prefer just kickboxing?
And I ain't gonna lie, I really want to, but it's one of the things. Like I'm nervous. Like it's a whole different game. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then I got something. Then I would say just keep competing in kickboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't feel like that urge no more, then just do it. But in the meantime, I would still train MMA.
Right.
Just keep competing in kickboxing.
That's what I need to do more. Like that's what I need to do more. Like if I really plan on making that transition to MMA, I need to work on wrestling. I need to work on jiu-jitsu. And that's the stuff like I don't like do. You know what I'm saying? And I know the thing is like if I want to do it, I need to get into it soon because I'm gonna be fighting people with like I'm not gonna be fighting MMA fighters who are debuts. You know what I mean? Because I have a good kickboxing record, so I'm gonna be fighting people that got MMA experience. You know what I mean? So
no, I hear you, but I think also since it's your MMA debut, I think your coach is gonna do you right and give you somebody that's gonna be not freaking wrestling champion, CIF state champion, CIF, like all she's gonna do you right, you know what I mean? To kind of ease you in. I think you have a good coach, and I don't think he'll give you someone like a dominant grappler straight off the bat.
That's true.
But at the same time, it's like if you do, like you said, if you do plan on making that transition, I would just practice in silence, keep kickboxing.
Yeah.
What would y'all say is the hardest part about a training camp?
Weight cut for me.
Yeah, weight cut.
Burning calories and burning more calories than you intake.
Yeah, bro. Because like, man, I walk around like, bro, I be heavy. I walk around like if I'm really indulging and just like chilling and training, like I be like 220, and I cut to 185 for like my fight. So like the weight cut is pretty brutal, but as long as you do it right, and I like to start like far out, There's been a few times where I cut it close, but I make weight every time. So, but yeah, the weight cut.
I agree. Weight cut.
No, it definitely is because, like, even with me, like I walk around heavy too, but like as long as I have like, I would say about at least 3 or 4 months, like to do a healthy weight cut.
Yeah,
a healthy weight cut where I'm not killing myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I can make weight in 5 weeks if I needed to. But that's going to be a different fighter that shows up compared to a fighter that cut weight healthy over 3 months.
That's facts.
So, yeah, I mean, it really just depends. But like y'all train a lot more than I do though. So I feel like I'd be waiting till the last minute. I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
Bam. All right. These next 3 months, I'm gonna lock in. You know what I mean? Then you have someone like y'all who train often. So maybe it's not. I think everybody's different though, because Trey might not have the same problem. I feel like Trey walk around a little bit more lean. Look, how heavy do you get, Trey? Because you fight at 170. How heavy do you get, like between your bouts?
All right, see you guys later.
I'll be honest with y'all. I'll tell you what I walk around at. If you want me to.
I don't really cut much. Not anymore, at least. I've been lately. I've been struggling to gain weight. I've been walking around like 170 something. The heaviest I've been was 180 in the past few months, and so like I've been struggling a lot to like bulk up and like try to gain weight.
Why are you trying to gain weight if you're so dominant at 170?
Well, I mean, like there are guys who cut from a heavier weight and
I got you.
So I'm at 170, and I don't want to be walking around at 170 and fighting at 170.
That's why I need a 165.
Yeah, dude.
If you ask me, I don't really care regardless. I feel like if I can walk around 170 and fight 170 and beat guys who would walk around at 185 or 190, then I would love it. But I know my coach want me to gain weight.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, I think you're straight, man. I think you're still gonna grow out. Between the age you're at right now, like 5 more years, you're gonna fill out. Especially like you're training now, your body's gonna start filling out. You're gonna reach your we like to say with other fighters their prime. I think 170. If you feel small at 170 right now, wait 5 more years if you're still competing in the sport, and you'll be a solid 170 fighter.
Yeah, I wanted to ask y'all. I think Trey may have asked you last time, but I'm curious to get both of your responses. How would you guys explain your fighting style? Right? Is it quote unquote aggressive? Is it more let me get my reads first, start late? Combinations. How would you guys explain your style? Do you think you have a style that you can compare to a fighter that you see, or is it like your own handcrafted style?
So let me think. Honestly, I don't even know my style. I feel like I just go out there and do what I do. I really don't even know anything about like styles. I say like what I want for myself is to be like dominant in all ways. I want to be like John Jones, but a better version. That's inside and outside the cage. But
you don't want. I'm about to say something crazy. Come on.
Yeah, man.
What you gonna say, bro?
Say something about hitting pregnant women. My bad.
You're crazy.
I'm not gonna say it though.
I think that's what you got to do to like become the greatest.
Yeah, man. Some coke.
That's right.
My fault. All right.
No,
yeah, I would like.
You're good, bro.
I like to compare myself to John Jones, but I don't think I'm on his level or anything. But I would like to be like, if it was any fighter, I would want to be like that. But for the most part, be myself, and whatever happens for my style. I don't know anything about styles really. Like, I just feel like I'm balanced all around. What about you, Joe?
No, man, I got more of a like boxer style. That's just what stuck with me more. I'm very relaxed. I fight very calculated. Like I work the jab a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sniper. Like I'm a sniper. You know what I mean? But yeah, real calculated. I'm not a slugger. I don't like to slug. If I have it, like if it gets dirty, I can. But that's not the kind of fights I like. I like to have a long, like, I like it. I want when people see it, they're like, oh yeah, this guy got it by a mile. Pick the pretty shots, pick the right shots.
Yeah,
that's how I like to fight.
Yeah, have y'all gotten into a slugfest yet? In any of your experiences?
Yeah. Oh, I ain't got it. The most aggressive I've ever been was when I fought in January 20th in Hot Springs. I was fighting a guy. He was taller than me.
Yeah.
So I had to bring the fight to him. You know what I mean? Because if he wanted, he could just sit back, work his jab, keep me back, keep me at bay.
Right.
But when I fought him, since he was taller than me, I was more aggressive. Like I was more of the aggressor. I was pushing the pace on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, don't get me wrong. Like it was fun because I don't fight like that. Even Jeff, my coach, he was like, "Yeah, I'm excited for this one because like you get to actually like put some pressure on somebody." Because a lot of people, I just like I'm real calculated. I sit back, work my punches, work some kicks. But for that one, I was really aggressive, just taking the fight straight to him. So I think that's the closest I've ever got to just, like throwing. You know what I mean?
Right. Got you.
Yeah, yeah. I think I only had one fight that it was like I felt like it was like a slugfest. That was with Daniel Cruz, my second fight,
Yeah.
and it was just like because I didn't have my stamina wasn't how I wanted it to be, and I was just sitting there. I was like, man, I gotta dig deep. Nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was. Other than that, not really.
What's y'all philosophy as it concerns sparring? You got stories that some guys going too hard in sparring. I seen Usman. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it because Usman made a video, I think, this week. He was shitting on Alex Pereira because he said all the times I see Alex Pereira, he's beating up his sparring partners, right? And so it's like, are you guys thinking of it as 80%, 90%? Is it filling each other out? And then is it like, let me work on my techniques? Or, what's y'all philosophy as it concerns sparring and people who go too hard and stuff like that?
Man, I don't like hard sparring.
Yeah.
I do think hard sparring, it's a little necessary. Like I'll put it like this. I like going a little harder in sparring whenever like it's like the fight camp,
Gotcha.
like not completely like while you're on your weight cut, but like towards like middle to like getting ready for the end of the fight camp. That's when I like to go a little harder in sparring. But I don't believe in hard sparring at all. Like the people that you're training with, like I don't think you should be trying to knock their head off. I don't think you be trying like you should, especially like you see it in a lot of boxers, like a lot of the boxers like with the headgear, when they're sparring, like they're fighting like they spar a lot of guys that they're obviously better than, and I don't know why they do it. It might be ego, it might just be repetition, money, but like
they paid to get their ass whooped.
They go hard, like they go super
do.
hard. And with the headgear, it's even worse because they think that they can hit harder because they got headgear, which isn't the case. It's still gonna hurt, still like causing trauma to your brain. So yeah, I don't believe in hard sparring at all. Like I like to up the pace and up the intensity, like in the fight camp. But as far as like just going hard, trying to knock each other heads off, like I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like it's not necessary to be like trying to kill you.
Can y'all hear me?
No, not to blame. Yeah, I can hear you.
I said no.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear Trey. I can hear Harrison. My bad. People are calling me while I'm trying to do this live, and it's messing it up now.
D&D. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I got everybody. I just don't know if we got Michael in here. He has damn Metro PCS or something. I don't know.
Nah. All right, y'all stay in here. I'm gonna try to rejoin.
You're the host.
What happens if I leave?
What you think gonna
I
happen?
think somebody else get the. I think somebody
Can
else.
y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear Joe.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. You can hear me? Joe can't hear me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't hear
I'm not
Joe.
going to leave, so we're going to continue the podcast. Harrison, I guess you talk.
Well,
I want to fuck it up. I can't hear nobody, though.
Hold on. Ask him if he can make somebody else the host.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah, Michael, see if you could. Joe's about to rejoin. Let me see.
What
Michael,
I could do is I could end it and restart it, and when I chop it up for the YouTube video, I'll just fix it then. Okay, give me a second.
All right.